Most of the decisions that we make day to day, they are easy enough. What are we having for dinner? Which movie should we watch? What food from the supermarket will we need for this week's meals? Then there are those decisions that have major implications in our lives. Should I change jobs? I feel like I'm losing connection with my spouse. What can I do? Is it time to move to a new home? When we're faced with major decisions that truly can impact our lives for good or for ill, can we use EFT to help us navigate through the decision-making process with clarity and with confidence? Indeed we can, and that is exactly what we will explore in this episode of EFT Tapping Junction. Stephen Carter here, your host for the EFT Tapping Junction show. I do thank you for joining me. Who is this show for? If you use emotional freedom techniques, EFT, thought field therapy, or other tapping protocols to help others or yourself, then this show is for you. Over more than 4 decades, I have worked with thousands of people to help them create happier, healthier, more successful lives using an array of holistic methods to include, of course, emotional freedom techniques, thought field therapy, hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, and an array of other holistic methods. To learn more about my background and to listen to other shows focused on stress relief and healthier and happier living, do visit our website at stressreliefradio.com. When it comes to making decisions, important decisions in our lives, there are 2 key elements that are vital. One is gaining clarity on exactly what it is that we want to achieve. And secondly, having the confidence to take action on the decision that we made. Clarity and confidence. When applying EFT in this type of situation, we may be tempted to tap on both of those elements together. As it turns out, that would be a mistake. First, we need to tap on clarity. We want to get a clear picture, a clear understanding of the problem that we're facing and the various options that we may have to deal with that problem. Then, once we've arrived at a decision, we are well served to tap on confidence. As an example, let's assume we're facing a decision that relates to the expenditure of a lot of money. There may be an array of underlying fears associated with this type of decision. We don't necessarily need to consciously know all of those fears or all of those underlying fears, because as we tap, the ones that really matter, the ones that will make a difference, will in all likelihood emerge into conscious awareness. As an example, let's look at the idea that we are deciding whether we want to buy a new home. As we consider all of the aspects related to this decision, for many of us, it won't be long until we have a sense of overwhelm. There are so many aspects that go into a decision like whether to purchase a new home or to move from, say, one apartment to another. You can begin with a problem statement that can also have a question embedded as part of that statement, such as, there's a part of me that wants to purchase a new home. Is it a wise decision for me to do so? Emotionally, we can get tied up in all of the what-ifs, and those what-ifs can create challenges in arriving at a clear and appropriate decision, as in this example, purchasing a new home. Let's tap through a sequence designed to help clear mental fog, reduce overwhelm, and foster clarity when facing important decisions. For most EFT applications, when assessing our level of distress, we use what's called the SUD scale, which is subjective units of distress. With the SUD scale, 0 equals no distress, and 10 equals the maximum amount of distress that we could imagine. For our purposes here, we're going to use a different scale. We're going to use a 0 to 10 scale, with 0 being absolute confusion, no clarity, and 10 being maximum clarity. On that positive assessment scale, with 0 being absolute no clarity and 10 being full clarity, assess where you are with the issue you're working with. For our demonstration purposes here, that would be purchasing a new home. Before we begin to tap, close your eyes and check in. Ask yourself, what is my level of clarity relating to the risks and rewards of making this important choice? Let's assume your starting level of clarity is a 2, and that would be very, very unclear. Begin with a setup statement such as, even though I feel confused and overwhelmed about this decision, I choose to allow my subconscious to sort through all of the aspects of this important decision and provide options and an ultimate decision about the best way forward. Moving from the karate chop point, which we tapped for that setup statement, move to the eyebrow position. I feel unclear about this decision. It's so confusing. Side of the eye, there is so much uncertainty and pressure. Under the eye, I'm worried about making the wrong choice. What if I make a mistake? What if I make the wrong choice? Under the nose, this confusion is clouding my mind. Under the chin, I want clarity. I choose to be clear and I choose to be confident in my judgment. Collarbone, I am open to seeing the best path forward. I am open to seeing the best path forward. I release this mental fog and overwhelm. Top of the head at the crown, I do trust myself to find clarity and make the right decision. I trust myself to find clarity and to make the right decision. Hands to heart, allow a loving in and a gentle out-breath, and say the word peace. Peace. Now stretch, 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 yawn, and sigh. Let's return to your problem statement and the key question. There's a part of me that wants to purchase a new home. Is it a wise decision for me to do so? And then say, I'm now ready to proceed with the research that will allow me to make a final decision. Allow your mind to go quiet and assess where you are on that positive assessment scale. If there is still a palpable level of uncertainty, continue to tap for clarity until you can get that positive assessment scale up to at least 7 to 8 or higher. Remember, you're tapping to remove blocks, blocking beliefs about your ability to make that decision with clarity. If after tapping 2 or 3 rounds for clarity, you are still not at a 7 or 8, be open to the possibility that the sense of resistance, if there is any, may arise from a subconscious fear. Ask your subconscious, is there a subconscious or unconscious fear that needs to be cleared before I can gain clarity into this decision? Allow your mind to go quiet, and if there is a fear that emerges into your awareness, go ahead and tap through that fear. It's now time to write out the pros and cons of purchasing a new home. And of course, you would substitute in this process whatever issue is important to you, the issue you are working on. Could you create this pro and con list prior to tapping for clarity? Yes, indeed, you could. However, my experience is tapping for clarity first will give you more confidence and allow you to identify more pros and more cons than if you do that list prior to tapping for clarity. If after looking at your list of pros and cons, and you are still keen to move forward toward a yes or no decision, write down all of the aspects related to a purchase, to include, of course, your budget. Remember to take into account any moving expenses that will come along with relocating to your new home, what type of home you would like to live in, its location, the amount of land you would like around your new home, the school district, if that's important to you, distance to local shopping, travel time to your place of work, and all of the other aspects that are important to you in this decision. In addition to those aspects, identify what actions you may need to take, assuming your decision is to move forward with the purchase of a new home. Remember at this point, you're tapping for clarity on making the decision, not on the final decision. When you do complete that process, you may arrive at the decision that, no, this is not the right time to purchase a new home. Or you may arrive at the conclusion, yes, I am excited, and yes, this is the right time to move forward and purchase that dream home. Assuming you decide you are going to move forward, it's now time to tap on the second element, confidence in acting on that decision. Confidence in acting on that decision. We assume here that there is some level of lack of confidence. Begin by tapping on the karate chop point and repeat your setup statement 3 times. Even though I feel hesitant or unsure about acting on this decision, I choose to create a sense of confidence in my ability to move forward. Eyebrow. I feel nervous about taking action. I feel nervous about taking action. Side of the eye. What if this decision does not work out? What if this decision does not work out? Under the eye. I'm hesitant to move forward. I'm hesitant to move forward. Under the nose. Actually, I choose to feel confident in my choice. I choose to feel confident in my choice. Chin. I trust myself to act with strength. I trust myself to act with strength. Collarbone. I am capable of making this decision work. I've considered all of the aspects, and I now know I am confident in making this decision work. Under the arm, I release all fear and I embrace confidence. I release all fear and I embrace confidence. Top of the head, your crown point, I am confident and ready to act on my decision. I am confident and ready to act on my decision. Place hands to heart. Allow a loving in-breath and a gentle, long out-breath, and say the word peace, peace. And now we're going to rate your positive sense of confidence on the 0 to 10 scale. 0 means no confidence, 10 fully confident. Where are you on that scale? If you are at an 8 or higher, you are ready to rock and roll. You're ready to move forward. If you're still at a low confidence level, continue to tap through this confidence building sequence, and in 2 or 3 rounds, you are in all likelihood ready to move forward. If after 2 or 3 rounds, your level of confidence is not at an 8 or higher, take a break. Take a break of an hour, or you may need to take a break of a day. Return to your confidence building sequence. Tap again, and I believe in all probability, assuming that you are confident in your decision, you will be confident in your ability to move forward and take the necessary action to manifest that new home or whatever you are tapping for. If you have questions about anything I've shared in this episode, or you would like to be in touch for any reason, email me at cartermethod@gmail.com. If you are not yet following EFT Tapping Junction, you can do so where you get your podcasts. When you follow, you will never, ever, ever miss an episode. Speaking of episodes, to listen to previous episodes of this show, along with other shows dedicated to health and well-being, do visit us at stressreliefradio.com. Until our next visit together, I encourage you to keep tapping, and I wish for you and your loved ones blessings in abundance.